Hey everybody, we are back once again with another Best Team No Restrictions video. This time, we're headed to Unova for a trip in Black and White, some of the most restrictive games ever. If you thought Heartgold and Soul Silver made it difficult to obtain certain TMs to help make your Pokemon stronger, well, Unova did so as well. So yeah, while we'd normally be able to use trait evolutions, breeding, and legendaries on a team like this, I actually found that most of this team was ripped right from my best team for Black and White Remastered. The one new entry is a single legendary, and it was just a rough go-around putting this team together. Let's move into the best team. So of course, returning from my original Unova best team is the best starter in the region for a second straight generation being a firefighting type, Emboar. It's really got a shot at running right through the gym challenge, as its dual typing helps it majorly, and honestly is a part of why it gets the edge over Superior and Samurai. Also, just look at those attack stats. It's got 123 physical attack and 100 special attack, meaning that it is a prime candidate for being a mixed attacker. There's also some bulk on this thing too, as it has 100 base HP, though its defenses aren't great, so I suppose the bulk isn't backed up as well as it could be. You start off with Tepig obviously, and by level 17 you'll have Pig Knight, and then at level 36 we've got the Emboar. So now that we've got that out of the way, why don't we check out the moveset? The moves that Emboar has for this best team are Flamethrower, Hammer Arm, Scald, and Rock Slide. Now, at first glance, this probably looks like a pretty cool moveset, and if you thought that, then you'd definitely be right. We lead off with Flamethrower, a move learned at level 43 by Emboar. There are several other decent fire-type moves you can use on the way to that level. Next up is Hammer Arm, a move that will need to be hard-scaled back onto Emboar from the mover learner in Mistralton City. A move like Arm Thrust will serve well until you can get Hammer Arm on the set. Next up is Scald, a TM found at the cold storage that serves as a rare water-type move learned by a fire type, and it's a great one for coverage. Finally, we have Rock Slide, which is a TM found in Mistralton Cave, so you'll get your hands on that around the same time you do Hammer Arm probably. So with these moves, Emboar has the chance to do well against Lenora's entire team, Berg's entire team, Clay's Krokorok and Excadrill, but you should be careful with them, Skyla's entire team, but this is another one you've got to be extra careful with, Bryson's entire team, Bianca's Stoutland and Simisage, Charon's Unpheasant, Simisear, and Liepard, Chantel's Golurk and Chandelure, Grimsley's entire team, Caitlyn's Sigilyph, N's entire team if you're playing white, and everything but his Zekrom if you're playing black, and gets us his Bouffalant, Bisharp, and Hydreigon. Emboar tears through so many different trainers in this region. It's crazy to think of any other Unova starter truly being better than it when it comes to pure domination and usefulness. So next up, we have our first Pokemon making their return for my Remastered best team. And this one is the absolutely dominant sand dinosaur, Krookodile. Oh, and if you're wondering why I called it a dinosaur, look up how long crocodiles have actually been on this planet. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, Krookodile is an absolute unit that tears through the Unova region in a very similar way to Emboar, putting up a great fight against certain gym leaders and definitely in the Elite Four. However, before you end up with this 117 base attack, 92 base speed beast, you'll need to capture a Sandile on Route 4, and then eventually evolve that into Krokorok at level 29, and finally into Krookodile at level 40. You'll get your hands on that Sandile after you get your third gym badge, and from there, it'll be very helpful. Let us take a look at the moves Krookodile will be using to tear apart the Unova region. Earthquake, Crunch, Dragon Tail, and Brick Break are the moves we're discussing here for Krookodile, and that is a real fun moveset. Earthquake is learned at level 54, which is actually the highest level of Ghetsis' Pokemon, so I suppose you'll probably have Earthquake around when you're facing the Elite Four. So use Bulldoze until then. It's a TM you get from beating Clay. The next move is Crunch, and that is learned by level up as well, checking in at level 27 as a Sandile. Next, there is Dragon Tail, and that is learned via a TM obtained from defeating the 8th gym leader. And finally, we've got Brick Break, which is a TM given to you in Icarus City, which is the perfect place to get your hands on a fighting type move. Now, if you're not fond of Dragon Tail, I get it has negative priority, but I wanted to put it on there because it looked fun. To replace it, you can give it Aerial Ace, which can be found in Mistralton City, right below the gym on the runway. Now with these moves, Krookodile should be able to do well against Elace's Zebstrika, Clay's Excadrill, Scala's Swoobat, Bryson's entire team, but you may want to just leave it for Emboar to handle, Bianca's Stoutland and Musharna, Charon's Simisear and Liepard, Chantel's entire team, Grimsley's entire team, Caitlyn's entire team, N's entire team in both games except for Archeops, and Ghetsis' entire team except for Seismitoad and Eelektross. You want to talk about domination? Look no further than the Elite Four onward for Krookodile. As while it doesn't help against Marshall, it nearly sweeps everyone else you have to face from the start of that final challenge. Alright, so next up, we have another returning Pokemon from the remastered best team for Unova, and it's one I've got a lot of love for. We're talking about Sigilyph, a Pokemon I really view as the best flying type option in Unova, and with good reasoning. Let's take a quick look at those stats, with 103 special attack and 97 speed. A great duo there for a Pokemon that boasts a great usage of its dual typing. More so than a Pokemon like Swoobat. You'll actually be getting Sigilyph right around the time you get Sandile, so your team is definitely going to be situating itself by the time you win your third badge, making me realize that your starter is important to getting to this point. Anyway, let's see what sort of moveset the Desert Resort's resident weird-looking bird ancient thing has. Alright, the moveset we have here is Fly, and that is followed by Air Slash, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. I gave it Fly so that we would be able to get around the region a bit easier, but aside from that, this isn't a move I'd suggest using in battle all that often. You'll be getting the HM for Fly in Driftville City. Now we can move on to another flying type move, which is a bit better than Fly, and that is Air Slash. Sigilyph will learn that at level 41. But don't worry, because Air Cutter will be there for you while you wait, learned at level 21. Psychic is the next move, and that's learned at level 44, with Psybeam being a nice option to have while you wait to get that. And that's probably something the Sigilyph you initially catch will already have. Finally, we have Shadow Ball for a little extra coverage. This TM is found in the Relic Cave, and it's going to be a nice little option for when ghosts try to scare Sigilyph off. Now with these moves, Sigilyph should be able to do well against Skywith Swoobat, Bianca's Musharna and Superior, Chantel's entire team, Marshall's entire team, Grimsley's Scrafty, Caitlyn's entire team, and Ghetsis' Cofagrigus. So Sigilyph makes its mark known mostly during the Elite Four challenge, and not a whole lot before or after. However, I have to say, for the kind of Pokemon it is, with the typing and move pool it's got, I think what Sigilyph actually offers is so good of a deal that it would be criminal to pass it up. Alright, so we have yet another Pokemon from the remastered best team. And it's the one Pokemon not named Spiritomb or Sableye that kind of doesn't have a weakness, Eelektross. So the reason why I say that is because Eelektross is an electric type Pokemon with the ability Levitate, meaning it doesn't have that ground type weakness anymore unless something either changes its ability or has an ability of their own which negates Levitate. So going under the assumption that you're not somehow facing a hidden ability Excadrill during your playthrough and that Cofagrigus doesn't have Mummy activate on you, you're dealing with a Pokemon that doesn't have any weaknesses. Anyway, you'll get the opportunity to catch a Tynamo in Chargestone Cave, and as well, you can find a Thunderstone in there, which when you get to level 39 and have an Electric, you'll need to evolve into Eelektross. It has got wonderful attack stats at 115 physical and 105 special, though its speed leaves a little bit to be desired with base 50. This is a great Pokemon just for its wide move pool and a lack of a weakness. So let's get into the moveset and see how good it truly is. So the way I'm taking advantage of this great move pool is to bring out Thunderbolt, Acrobatics, Flash Cannon, and Grass Knot. Thunderbolt is learned at level 44 by Electric, so I would definitely advise waiting until then to evolve into Eelektross. Then we have Acrobatics, which is the TM reward you get for defeating Skyla, and since we often won't be putting items on our Pokemon, it's a great choice for this set. Next up we have Flash Cannon, which is a TM found within Twist Mountain, near the rock where you evolve Glaceon. Finally, we have Grass Knot, and you'll get that pretty early on during your playthrough when you're in the Pinwheel Forest. So let's take a quick look at how these 4 different types of moves help out during the playthrough. With these moves, Eelektross will be able to do well against Skyla's entire team, Bryson's entire team, Bianca's Simipour and Superior, Charon's Unpheasant and Samurott, Chantel's Jellicent and Golurk, Marshall's entire team, Grimsley's Scrafty and Krookodile, Caitlyn's Sigilyph, N's Caracosta, Vanillix and Archeops, and finally, Ghetsis' Seismitoad. Eelektross serves in a nice mop-up role for all the Pokemon thus far helping out with a lot of coverage. So now we have one last remastered member returning to this best team, and I immediately had my eyes on a water-type Pokemon. I needed to come up with one that could be an early encounter and be viable to use for the long haul, but also offer some sort of coverage that we were really looking for. My first idea was Seismitoad, but even after building a moveset for it, I just couldn't commit because it lacked access to one important typing with its move pool, Ice. So that played a big part in the Pokemon I would choose to go with here. And in the end, I decided on one of those monkeys we all love so much, Simipour. Alright, so for those of you who haven't immediately scoffed and questioned how could I ever do this, need I remind you, Simipour has been on the best team before? It is not a Pokemon that should be disregarded. It's got a great 101 base speed, and both of its attack stats are base 98, so it will hit hard. You can capture a Panpour in the Pinwolf Forest, and then when you use a Water Stone, you'll be evolving it. You'll be able to pick up the Water Stone in Castelia not long after getting Panpour, so be ready for a quick evolution. Alright, the moves Simipour has at its disposal now are Surf, Blizzard, Waterfall, and Workup. So Surf is an obvious one, and a gem we need at points in the region, and also it just serves as a great attacking move. There's not a lot better on the special side for a water type. You get the HM from Alder after you defeat Charon outside of Twist Mountain. The next move is Blizzard, and this was the key one that got Simipour on this team. You will be able to get the TM in where else but Icarus City, and it's really needed for that Dragon-type gym battle. Next up is Waterfall, and that is gotten on Route 18, which is not too long after you end up getting Surf from Alder. Finally, we have Workup, and that is gotten from defeating the first gym leader in the region. In this case, since we picked Tepig, we have Cress. Oh, also, since I didn't mention it prior, and we're talking about a monkey now, be sure to use the Pansage you get gifted to beat Cress. Alright, so with this moveset, Simipour will be able to do well against Clay's Excadrill and Krokorok, the Dragon Gym Leader's entire team, Bianca's Serperior, but be careful, Charon's Unfezant and Simisear, Chantel's Golurk and Chandelure, Grimsley's Krookodile, Caitlyn's Sigilyph, and Zekrom in Pokemon Black and Archeops, and finally, Ghetsis' Hydreigon. Alright, closing out this team, we finally got a Pokemon that takes advantage of the No Restrictions moniker. It's a legendary Pokemon, and it's the leader of the Swords of Justice, Cobalion. Its great still power lends itself to this team well, and it's relatively easy to obtain once you get Surf and then head through Mistralton Cave. You'll encounter it at level 42, capture it, and boom, you've got a legendary, and a strong one at that. We've had a ton of fighting type coverage already on this team, and you know what? With the amount of dark and still type Pokemon in this region that need to be handled, that's just fine. Let's take a look at the moves. Cobalion's set is Sacred Sword, Iron Head, Poison Jab, and Swords Dance. Sacred Sword is a wonderful signature move, and it's learned at level 42 with Iron Head at level 37. So you should have both of those moves when you capture Cobalion already there. Poison Jab is a TM. You can find that on Route 6. And finally, Swords Dance is learned at level 49. So enjoy making Cobalion destroy everyone with its power. Now with these moves, Cobalion is able to do well against Bryson's entire team, Bianca's Statland and Serperior, Charon's Liepard, Grimsley's entire team, En's Caracosta, Vanillux, Klinklang, and Zoroark, and finally Ghetsis' Bouffalant, Bisharp, and Hydreigon. So many Pokemon are already covered by the rest of this team that, quite frankly, I maybe didn't even need to put Cobalion or anything else on this team. However, I wanted to give you guys at least one Pokemon that follows through on the no restriction rules. If only the black and white remastered team actually had some real holes, it would have been a lot easier to completely rebuild it. Alright, that's gonna do it for another no restrictions best team. I know this was not the most exciting one in regards to how we normally make these teams, but things happen, you know? Don't worry though, when we return for the next one, I think we're going to have a really great team thrown together. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrion, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.